program, which is amazing. And here we are from Alaska and don't know anything but anybody. But all that driving, we drop in the barns and meet people, meet the horses and stuff. And so anyhow, we both had a lot of horses, and that kept us going for years and years and years. I tell Sandy, the way you operate in life is you're a prayer warrior. Something happens, you pray for them. Something happens, you pray for them. And continually doing that. Oh, I'm not a prayer warrior. I can pray for people. No, you're a prayer warrior. I don't know, I'll push you out. The War Room. Anybody seen that movie? It's about a woman with prayer closet. About a year ago, she decided she wanted a room that was upstairs, clean everything out of it. That was going to be the prayer closet. And that's there, and it's going to remain there. And I've already shared with some of you, and I'm sharing that with everybody. What happened to me was just that I need to get rid of purpose. I didn't want to do it. So I decided, do I stay in Kentucky or do I move back to Alaska? What do I do with my life now without Sandy? And God kind of spoke to me. You need a plan. God told me that. You need a plan. What's your plan, Bert? And so I called and I told the fellow that works for me around the property down there in Kentucky, and I said, I need somebody to paint on the mailbox. Mama's, I can't remember how I worded it. What? Mama's baby's and flower garden I put in there because I don't want vegetables. And so that's what I came up with. And what does that mean to me? I completed my course, taking care of her. And now I put back in to the ministry where I've lived for 40 plus years. And I'm starting my home is going to be converted into a healing facility for people that have suffered losses, whatever they are. I know I'm going to keep one different, and that's the suicide survivors. That'll be a different group. But generalized grief, and I'm going to start the ministry. So my home. Now, how to fit in with the flowers along the pathway going up to the house. It'll be flowers. People can come and attend the meetings. It doesn't cost them anything. I don't charge for services. I'm serving God and ministry. And in that, the people attending can bring a flowering plant and bury it on that walkway, on the side of the walkway. There'll be a tag they'll have, and you can put on it in memory of, and then put their loved one's name. So they know that somebody's remembering their loved one. So that was the day. So then I went and decided to look up Kent Redford's bad podcast. And Sandy, for the last couple of years, has been listening to Kent Redford, who used to be up here at Muldoon Assembly. And the first thing he said out of his mouth, you need to have a plan. Yeah, I already know that. I got my plan. And that was confirmation I was on the right track. I mean, it just confirmed just exactly what I wanted to do. When she had a desire to be buried at the base of a tree, a flowering tree. And so I'm buying 2 flowering trees to put in the backyard with a bench between them, spaced accordingly. And they're cherry trees, and that's in the backyard. and that's her place. There'll be a plaque on that tree, and the other one's mine. I'm getting ready. And okay, so getting ready is, that's the two trees that I'm gonna plant in memory of Sandy and in preparation for me being there. And then there'll be, I've got over an acre and stuff, so I have some room for other people in flower beds to be able to plant flowers, and that's what I'll be doing from here on with that ministry. So with that, some of the things that she really uh, enjoyed and prayed about and ministered to, and friends and family. We've had people along the way live at our house. We've had people we've ministered that just kind of come through our home, and Sandy continually on the internet in the last few years have been ministering over the internet with people that have had hospitality. That's one of her gifts. She bring people into the house, and we have guests at our Christmas parties and things, and that we just do that, and that was her gift, was to put those things on for people that were hurting or had a loss and needed help. And so what I what I'd like to ask of you, because there's some that knew Sandy and know Sandy, and there's some family members here. I'd like to ask, is there anybody else that has something they remember that kind of hangs out there as they really remember about Sandy and her character? And I'm going to point out my sister is going to share something she wanted to share. And that's my sister and my nephew. They grew all in Alaska.
He didn't get that from any of us.
That's right.
When I go to a store, they look at him and they look at me and like, how did that big old kid get out of you? Well, he wasn't that big. Well, first of all, I should qualify, I knew him when. But I am so grateful to your mother and to Sandy, because she alone, not him, but him too, made him who the man he is today, the generous man, the loving man, the religious man. He changed his life, but it changed for the better. And I never ever said, well, you should have done this or stayed with that, because he wouldn't be the man he is now without Sandy having encouraged him. And he was busy with trying to earn a living at what, 18, 19, very young. And so she raised those kids as she wanted them to be. And all of the whole family, not only having a lot of them, I counted 15 or something.
Extended, yes.
What?
Extended, 15,
Extended.
not 15 individual.
Yeah, extended. And they've all been very wise, very loving, and very successful in their own way and in their own life. And I am so grateful to Sandy, because like I said, I knew him when. And he was 18, and if you've ever been 18 and the youngest one, but it also made me that thing too, because I thought, I'm not gonna do that. But he turned out so well. I'm so grateful for Sandy and for the family that she left here with us. So she had her children early. I had mine late, so mine is closer in age to her grandkids than her. But she taught me a lot, and any time that I needed help, she was there for me. I went through a divorce, and she was there, telling me what to do, and I've tried to pass that along. I didn't become a minister like Bert, but I jokingly say I always inherit the women of the divorce. because I can give them guidance as to how they can handle the situation of either raising their children by themselves or not being critical and abusive towards their ex-husband. He was the father of their child, and you need to honor that and remember those things. And Sandy didn't have to go through that, but anytime she needed a shoulder, I tried to be there. But I think I was on her shoulder more than she was on mine.
Yeah. Yes, I when I it's always interesting. I would say I know Uncle Bert, and to like who or when some of the kids. Well, I'm closer to age to my second cousins. My cousins all say I remember when I changed diapers. So I'm like, oh, that's and my brother's 5 years older, so he got experience. My brother was actually CP ring bearer and stuff. Um, yeah, and so I always, when everyone would say mom, I was like, who? And so it would say Aunt Sandy. And so I remember Aunt Sandy once, like a kind of joke, we were the non-horse side of the family because we never got horses.
Like grandpa was a farmer.
Yes. But I remember one time Sandy invited me over. I think she was trying to set me up on a date with one of somebody's friends or something. Didn't work out. But I remember Sandy was always trying after my divorce was trying to do that and stuff. But I just remember how loving she was, and how well she would always open up when we had to do, since I had to do 2 different Christmases with my dad, and then I would come to Sandy, Bert's house for Christmas when we did Christmas, and then I do the third one with my mom later the next week, the next day. But I know my brother always had fond memories of her too. He passed along some condolences, and my sister-in-law and my nieces, because they got to meet Aunt Sandy and Uncle Bert when they were down there in Washington, Seattle one year, and they had fond memories of her too. So, but I would always have fond memories of Sandy. I know she talked about her horses. She always wanted me. They always wanted me to try to take pictures of horses, but they don't. Hard with horses. I like people more. They ride more than horses. But I always remember how she was and how she was. But it's always interesting because we're like, even Danielle, she got invited us to just a couple days before Christmas, and we were able to make it and just spend some time with Sandy and the family. And Danielle was trying to explain to John's kids who I was, and Danielle said we're just all family, and that was the perfect sentiment and stuff. And so, and Sandy always said that too. She always thought of us as family. So it was definitely interesting when people would say, "Mama," I'm like, "Who?" But I will always have a kind heart. She always had a kind spot in my heart of how kind she was.
Remember, I knew him when he was 18. So.
I didn't know. I don't really remember them until they were in the 40s, but I do remember. Oh, I'm taller than them now, though. So.
We did it from and I am so grateful for Sandy being with my brother. Grateful beyond words.
Just from a chance, and I don't know pressure, just asking if there's anybody here who'd like to share anything. Take that time. I'm sorry about the. Yep. No kids are soundboard. Yep. Yes.
It's guaranteed to be short as the introverts introvert. We did, like you were mentioning, we did just have my mom and dad here for Christmas, and what a special time it was. Just blessed few words, everything was afterwards. I was able to give her a card, one last person card, and it's thanks her for the inheritance she's given. Because I have faith, because my mom, the time I was a little girl, we talk about a loving God, and so I'm surrounded by family, and I just know where my mom is, so these are my cards. And it's because from the time I was very little, and Susie, I want you to know that when I gave her that card and said, thank you for the inheritance, thank you for faith, she said, thanks, Susie. I don't know if you have had it without her.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm afraid that I have 2 beautiful sisters who use beautiful words and I don't. I think I have to go with that. The first thing that I kind of was going to joke about is my mom and I would argue all the time, and she wished sometimes I wouldn't talk quite as much as I do. So with this experience, I have found that I never lost of words. So thanks, Mom, you finally got me to stop talking. But I do have just a couple of things that I just wrote down. It says, Mama, always behind the scenes, making things beautiful and people feel loved. Always the first to the door to greet us with her big bear hug. No one's going to be able to fill her shoes. No one on earth can pray or hug or love like Mama. No one can prepare a house, a meal, or an adventure like Mama. I see, this was to my mom, so I say, I see your passion, joy, and beauty in everything, but especially in your family. We miss you, even though we know we feel your presence here. Your impact and legacy will live on in our lives through the people that she has touched. I'm so happy that you now know how much you are loved. Yeah. And of course, in Mama's true style, I have it ended with happy trails, Mama, until we meet again. I love you. That's it.
Okay, now I'd like to move on. There. Try. Thanks, Rick.
81-year-old woman. 56 years ago. A long time. I met Mama. She was pregnant with Cindy. I had my son Sean. He was 2 years old. She thought I should have another baby. Let me have more kids. One's just coming up. She had 3 at that time. So we ended up having another child. Not knowing back in those days, you didn't know until the baby was born what it was going to be. You didn't have any clue. And I wanted a girl desperately. I didn't think that there would be more. So Sandy picked me out a pink and white gingham baby blanket before she was ever born. Gave it to me. I had my girl. I asked the doctor, "Are you sure?" Yes. Anyway, fast forward to so many memories. It's just hard to pick anything one out. Especially, I went through a really difficult divorce, really painful, horrible divorce. But Mom and Papa were there all the way with me, supporting me, loving me, and other family members. But God used me, praise to His name, to be able to minister to Mama when she needed it. And I was able to give it to the Lord. It was such a blessing to see how that has multiplied. What a beautiful, beautiful family she has and that we are part of. Because I really feel we are family. And the truth says the word. We lost touch for a while. You know, the life takes over. But through Facebook we got reconnected and it had been like nothing had ever, not one day had passed that we weren't together. So the last few, it's 2015, and until now has just been absolutely glorious. She has been the best friend, and we're sisters. We're not friends, we're sisters. Not biologically, but through the blood of Christ. And I know she's at peace, I know she's happy, and I know she's been happy the last few years of her life. We're the best of them all. Thanks to you all, thanks to her family. I love her and I miss her, and I'm not saying goodbye, I'm saying see you later.
Well, as you can see, I am a chip off the old block here. And I'm very happy to speak on behalf of the chaplains. Bert certainly had begun the police chaplaincy in 1980. I've been saying 81. I think we were incorporated in 81, but in 80. And I have only been a chaplain for 15 years. But there are a couple of parts to this. One of them, just a little bit of a thing. I'm a horse person also, and Bert and Sandy just lived really a few blocks up from Birch Road from me. And I would see him drive by his little chaplain car. It was after the Yellow Rabbit. It was got what we call old Little Red. Little Red has officially been retired. It was Illumina, we used it for a long time. And somewhere along the line, God totally spoke to me and just laid on my heart that I should be a police chaplain. And truly, I had no knowledge even of what they did. I just heard from God. So I rode my horse down to McQueen's and knocked on the door and said to Bert, I think I'm supposed to be a police chaplain. And he said, well, you gotta fill out an application online, but that's how that started. Both the horse connection and the chaplain connection started there. And when I met Sandy, I was so impressed. Sandy was beautiful. She is a beautiful woman, physically beautiful, and I could tell, was it Tanya was speaking, which there you are. I mean, I can see some of her mannerisms in you. There's just a way that with Sandy, and I see that in you. And she was a prayer warrior from the very beginning. I remember that about her, and just a gentle kind of spirit. And there were times when she was ill, and I remember praying for her over the phone and praying with her, and that was wonderful. She also, and I don't think this was in the obituary, but she was the volunteer coordinator in Alaska Regional Hospital for a while, and she was so good at that job. It was, I just felt bad when they kind of closed down that position, but so Bert impressed me, got to be a chaplain. Sandy impressed me, and then I'm going to end with this one little story. I would say Bert's strong point is not organization. It's not organization. And in the chaplain office in the early days when I don't know, I was the only girl for a while. Diane was somewhere, but she wasn't in sight, and all these guys in. And it was kind of messy in there, I'll say that. Well, I came in one day and there were two desks set up on the far wall. And there's these pink things and hearts and pink pencils and everything laid out, and I thought, what in the world happened? Well, Sandy had come in and had a little desk there for herself, and Bert's was there too, and all this pink stuff. It was just transformed. So she was a good one for you. And it was a very, very much pleasure to know her and the legacy too that Bert, oh my gosh, every one of us who are chaplains, every one of us just thank God that we get to do this job. It's probably not for the faint of heart, I would say, but when God calls you to something, He gives you just exactly the heart that you need. I'm thankful to know both of them.
God help me, but she did have something to do with me.
growing up is I just always knew Cindy at birth. I don't ever remember a time before I was born into this family. We were all transplants, didn't have family up here. And Cindy at birth made a family for us, welcomed us in, gave my brother and I and my mom. I gave 3 sisters and all their beautiful branches to call my family. Sandy was the second mother to me, though I'm sure she didn't really know what to do with me being a tomboy. I know I gave her some challenges. And I just remember all the advice, all the little things I didn't listen to as a child, and I just remember them now. I just wish I would have listened to stand up straight. Don't rub your eyes, all these, such love. And being, grown woman, 54 years old, she could call me little sister, sis, and just take me back to that little girl. And I just felt such love from her. Such love. I have to say, growing up, there wasn't a lot of successful marriages, not a lot of longevity. And that's the one thing I can say that you both. You gave me that example of the longest marriage that I can go to, and it's so loving, and you've been through so much, and the example that you've given, that when you love each other, you can make anything work, and you'll be able to put it in. And it just, again, such a beautiful thing to me, and that is what I look to when, I look at my marriage and the example that you gave. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for you and your type. And for Sandy. And I just love, your love is what she's left me with, and those beautiful memories of my childhood that I wouldn't have without her. And God be my mom, I don't know that I would have been here if it wasn't for Sandy. So I have her to thank. I thank you for sharing the moment with me. You know, I love you all.
You ready?
I just wanted to say that I am so thankful for my mother. I can't imagine growing up without my family. I am so thankful for the sense of belonging that she just extended that it was like our family was this special exclusive club. So when I was very little, I thought I am the luckiest person in the world. Not everybody gets into this group. And I loved the sense of fun. Mama had a great sense of fun, and I know that right now, I endeavor to pass on so many things to my children that Mom gave me. For it's like even for Mom, and I endeavor to create experiences for them, places for them, just like she showed me that great example. So I'm so grateful to be at this point we have just a treasure trove of memory on memory on memory, that she valued us to spend time with us, to open her home, to open her heart. And I hope that when I reach this point, I hope that my kids have memories like that.
For no other reason than need a break. And granddaughter here has picked out some pictures to kind of just show. Okay. Lighten up. One last song. That's someplace I heard somebody say one time, and that's all I got to say about it. So, rather than belabor it, this is about Sandy. Ah, thank you for being here. And there is a gathering up at Suki and Rick's house, and if you don't know how to get there, I'll let you know. But there is a gathering. We're gonna, anybody that would like to come up, some refreshments and stuff up there. And thank you for being here. I appreciate the chaplains and all of you. Thank you for taking the time to be respectful.
And thank you, Bert. I just want to say that for a spouse to stand up and speak about your wife that has just recently um, gone to heaven. It is hard. It is very hard, and you've done it. You are a man of courage, and you're so honoring to your wife. And I'm going to applaud you.
Remember, men don't cry. Keep telling you.
Cowboys cry.
Yeah.
Seeing Sandy, that just tells you who she was. And she was such a beautiful baby. And I didn't respect her near as much as she deserved. And I feel bad about that. But I am waiting to get to heaven with her to dance with her.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to do when I get to again. I owe her that. Thank you again. And I don't know how to let you all know how to find Susan and Rick so that they can.
If anybody wants to join us, you can talk to me and I'll give you the address.
Thank you all for being here.